5 ridiculously expensive things El Chapo owns. Crime is said to be unprofitable, and while we would want to agree with this notion, there are those offenders who illustrate the exact opposite. A well-known example of this is Mexican drug kingpin Joaquin Guzman, also known as El Chapo. As the boss of the Sinaloa Cartel, an international crime organization, El Chapo amassed a fortune in excess of $1 billion. He was formerly the 10th richest man in the entire country of Mexico, but he's now serving a life sentence for the actions that brought him to that prison. While we would never condone his criminal acts, he was living the high life before he was sentenced to life in prison. And today, we'll take a look at some of the luxurious and even ridiculous items he spent his money on before he was sentenced to life in prison. Hello everyone, and welcome to another video on our channel. In today's video, we'll discuss about the 5 ridiculous expensive things El Chapo owns. Yeah, you heard it right. So let's get started with our video. Number 1. $929 million carbon fiber super stealth plane. If you want to be the #1 name on the United States government's most wanted list, you're going to have to go undercover. That is exactly what El Chapo accomplished with his carbon fiber super stealth jet. He used this plane to transfer his narcotics, cash, and even himself throughout the world, all in the name of profit. The plane was designed to fly low enough to avoid being detected by radar. Because of the carbon fiber coating, it is able to avoid detection by both commercial and local radar. El Chapo actually engaged a private pilot for this particular jet. He doesn't enjoy mixing business with pleasure, therefore, he only uses the stealth plane for personal travel. He just happens to travel with significant quantities of narcotics and cash in his possession when he does so. Number 2. $275 million El Chapo Yacht. El Chapo has a fleet of submarines and freighters ready to transport his drugs and cash worldwide. He has entire fleets of private jets dedicated solely to transporting large sums of money throughout the world. El Chapo's boat, appropriately dubbed El Chapito, is the sole vessel that he admits to owning and operating. He gave himself the honor of naming the yacht. The problem is that the individual in question is known as El Chapo. El Chapito is the name of the boat, which suggests to the public that he is significantly larger than his $275 million yacht. The boat is docked near his zoo and beach house in Acapulco, where he keeps it. Before starting his prison sentence, it was alleged that he would charter a yacht and host private parties that would go for days on end for hundreds of models and other VIP guests on the water. Number 3. $10 million Acapulco beach house. El Chapo constructed a beautiful beach villa on the coast of Acapulco before constructing his zoo. The property features a private beach where El Chapo and his guests can relax and enjoy the sun and sand without fear of being interrupted by competing drug lords. The mansion is enormous, with tennis courts and swimming pools. Few people who have seen his beach property have been ready to describe the inside. Of course, El Chapo wouldn't welcome Architectural Digest writers or photographers into his residence. This is the only asset El Chapo owns that has a price tag attached to it. Number 4. $5 million private zoo. El Chapo's massive palaces and estates are not enough to satisfy him. He desires to have his own private zoo, so he constructed one. His zoo, located near the coast in Acapulco, is home to lions, tigers, and even crocodiles among other animals. As a result of his fascination with large cats, El Chapo ensures that his zoo is always well stocked with panthers, tigers, and lions at all times. The zoo also features a little train that takes visitors around the grounds to get a better view of all of the animals in their non-natural environments. The question that has to be asked is whether any of El Chapo's opponents have been given a VIP tour of the zoo. Number 5. $2.2 million Latuna Mansion. You could make an entire novel about all of the assets that El Chapo has claimed to hold, but it would be impossible. We know he has a home in Latuna, Texas, where we believe he lives. He did, in fact, purchase this land and have a house built for his mother on it. This was his hometown, and he wanted her to continue living there as long as possible, but he also wanted her to be able to live in comfort. One of the ironies of Latuna is that it is also the location of a big federal jail facility. El Chapo was, in a sense, taunting the federal authorities when he built his estate in that location. The house has been the site of numerous gunfights, in which both El Chapo's men and members of the local community have died. It is referred to as the Golden Triangle, one of the most important components of El Chapo's drug empire. Well, that's all for today's video. Tell us in the comment section how you thought today's video was. I hope that you found this video interesting. If you want to see more like this, please consider subscribing. And don't forget to give comments and provide us with your valuable feedback. We'll see you in the next video with some more amazing, luxurious facts and stories. And until then, stay tuned.